Key differences comparison. This video aims to highlight the key differences between version 2 and version 3 of Contract Manager. Dashboards. Although visually different, the contract list operates in the same way as the aggregated dashboard, displaying a summary of some of the key aspects of the contract to date. Each contract links direct to a contract dashboard where we can access the contract-specific data. In version 3, we've introduced the means to group multiple contracts into a single project. This is displayed within My Projects. Each project displays how many contracts are active within a project and a cumulative summary of all contract cost and completion dates. When we click on a project, it will filter out any contracts associated with the project. Contract dashboards. Although similar, the contract dashboard within version 3 focuses on some of the key aspects of the contract. As with version 2, all actions assigned on the system are displayed at the top of the dashboard. In version 3, we've introduced a summary of all the actions assigned and grouped by status. Color coding. One of the key differences between version 2 and 3 is the use of color coding. In version 2, green represented closed or rejected, orange represented open, and red represented overdue. In version 3, the color coding for the action summary is now different to reflect the priority of the action. Green represents an open status that is due longer than a week, or with no time stipulation set. Orange represents an open status that is due within a week, and red is an open action that is overdue. User options. In version 3 of the software, you have an extended set of options. You can now enable or disable email notifications for each individual contract you're working on. You can enable two-factor authentication, and you can choose to log out from all active sessions you may have open. The new features mentioned are covered in the dashboards and navigation video you can find on our support site. Module features, sorting and filtering. Within version 2 of the module listings, the filter features are available at the top of each listing. Within version 3, the filter and sort can be expanded or collapsed, allowing you to view more data on the screen. Module listings. In version 3, we've developed both a list and a tile view, which you can toggle between via the means of the switch at the top of the listing. The tile view is useful when viewing the system on a mobile platform. Module identifiers. In version 2, for each communication on the system, a unique number is allocated. In version 3, an identifier comprising of a prefix of the module, followed by a sequential number, is allocated. This provides a more logical sequencing of the communications relevant to its module. Communication features. In version 2, the module features comprised of the following: meetings, action plans, documents, and notes. Version 3 now provides a series of supporting features that are available in every module on the system. These include the audit, documents, conversations, actions, communication links, early warning impact assessment. In version 3, we've introduced a new assessment point, no risk. We've also introduced the risk management plan, where you can speculate the impact of cost and time and suggest a risk reduction response. The aforementioned for version 3 is covered in the early warnings video, which you can find on our support site. Compensation events, quotations. We've refined the quotations in version 3. Previously, you could only submit a single quotation. In version 3, you can now draft and submit multiple quotations. In version 2, when submitting a quotation, you needed to attach the documents separately and then create a link within the quotation. In version 3, you can attach the documents direct to the quotation. In version 2, when compiling a quotation, you could propose a change to the completion date and tick if there was a delay to a key date. In version 3, you can now propose changes to completion, key dates, and if applicable to your contract, sectional completion dates. You can find out more about quotations in the compensation events video on our support site. Program module. In version 2, before the project manager could accept the program, a checklist must be completed prior to accepting. In version 3, we've refined the workflow so that now the project manager can choose to accept the program, marking the program submission as accepted and closed. If the project manager chooses to not accept the program, they must state the reasons from a list. It is also possible to leave comments. You can find out more about the program module from our support site in the program video. Instructions. Within version 2, an instruction could be issued with a compensation event. The project manager could choose how the instruction was issued from a checkbox in the linked compensation event. In version 3, the process is contained within the module. On creation of a new instruction, you can choose to either notify an instruction or a proposed instruction. You can find out more about the instructions module from our support site in the instructions video. Acceptance. In version 3, we've added a default list of acceptance types. We've also added the feature to specify your own acceptance type. You can find out more about the acceptance module from our support site in the acceptance video. Defects. In version 2, once a defect was notified, the associated correction period as defined from your contract data would be triggered. In version 3, after completion, the contractor is required to correct any remaining notified defects, which would not have delayed completion, before the end of the defect correction period, relevant to that defect. The defect correction period on any outstanding defect will be triggered, and the contractor has the defect correction period stated to correct the defect. The system then monitors the date. You can find out more about the defects module from our support site in the defects video. Completion. In version 2, you could notify completion, defects at completion, or, if applicable, sectional completion. In version 3, if applicable, you notify and certify all sectional completion prior to notifying completion. You can find out more about the completion module from our support site in the completion video. Payments. In version 2, once a payment was notified, the application for payment was assessed and certified. The retained amount was then deducted from the total of the prices. Once payment was completed, the payment could be marked as certified, closing the communication. In version 3, the payment module focuses on the application for payment. Once an application has been submitted, it can be assessed and closed. The retained value is no longer deducted from the total of the prices. This means that the payment module can be used on either a monthly or a cumulative cycle. As the workflow states differ, users who've been migrated from version 2 to version 3 of the software may find that some of the open states on version 2 are now treated as closed in version 3. You can find out more about the payments module from our support site in the payments video. Quality modules. The test and inspection and instruction to search modules have been simplified and now integrate directly with the defect management module. You can find out more about the quality modules from our support site in the test and inspections, defects, and instructions to search videos.